Okay, and we're back. So Curt's son doesn't wear a belt.
Yeah, so this is gonna be one of those. This is gonna be one of those podcasts.
This is gonna be kind of random.
We're at Curt's house. First of all,
tacos with friends. CJ, formerly known as Curt.
Curt, CJ. For us, it's a lot easier for the transition to CJ. For you, it might be a little bit harder because you used to call him Curt.
Yeah.
But tacos with friends, everybody. Welcome. Stay hydrated. All that good shit. Yeah. This is gonna be one of those podcasts where we're just bullshit.
Hey, Jim. Tacos with Friends podcast at gmail.com.
At Gmail, at Twitter, at blah, blah.
Tacos with Friends on Twitter and Tacos with Friends on YouTube.
And YouTube's a big one.
Yeah.
Man, fuck it.
Well, shit.
You know what? We got
shit, goddammit.
We got a 17-year-old
maybe you should have started it for me. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So
it was on the gram.
So Tacos with Friends, everybody. We're here bullshit.
Yeah, Tacos with Friends on Instagram.
I'll start it
tonight. Sure.
I guess. First time at Curt's house. We're hanging out. Getting drunk, bullshitting.
I'm drinking a bottle of wine straight out the bottle.
Right now, if you guys,
I've drunken a whole bottle of wine.
If you guys could see
by
Greg
myself,
right now,
all of us.
He has a fucking wine bottle, just drinking out of. I've never seen Greg drink. He has
he's
hitting the head right now.
I love wine.
We wanted to bring in CJ, formerly known as Curt. All you loyal listeners out there, all half of you might remember him. He was on a while ago. We're trying to get.
That was our Christmas episode.
It was like Christmas episode. We're getting a 17-year. You know, it was like 30 degrees in my garage.
Sure was.
Fucking retards were
Curt had a slushy.
Slushy.
I was with that.
Children nowadays.
But we're gonna be picking the brain of a 17-year-old with all like the weird shit going on. But this is gonna be one of those podcasts where we're just sitting around bullshitting, and Curt's gonna kind of do his thing for all you women out there who got to listen to this while they're sitting on towels and all that.
Yeah, because they love Curt.
Goddamn Curt.
Yeah,
words of wisdom with
I
Curt.
love Curt. Now they can hear Curt's smooth voice because last week Curt was talking to me over the phone. I got complaints.
Yeah,
like, we couldn't hear Curt.
We
couldn't hear
Curt.
We need Curt. Yeah, see, look at him.
Live in the flesh, baby.
We here, baby.
But
no, yes, indeed.
I was asleep, so I'm gonna be here, but I'm gonna be listening to you guys. So, Curt, take it away.
Hey, we was just having a comment about this continued pants sagging, which is really still ridiculous in my mind because we all know where it comes from with the originality of prisoners
I've seen
who were available sexually would have their pants sagging for easy access. Right. Now
I've seen Locked Up Raw.
You've been locked up raw. Listen. Now this is still a questionable state of mind because we're still trying to figure out why are these youngsters still sagging their pants. It's 2018. That shit should be over, number one. Number two is, are you sagging your pants for availability? Because I don't understand why your pants are at your fucking thigh bones if you're not sagging for availability.
That is the thing with the 17-year-old perspective here. What is like the appeal of it's a fashion thing, obviously, but like how far ahead in your future do you see yourself sagging? Because I used to sag.
I used to sag.
I think everybody. I think it's like a age thing. Like when you're in high school, it's a cool thing to sag.
Yeah.
As us, like I'm in my mid-20s. Like you're 30. Fucking Curt. Who knows how old you're? But like now, when I see a kid walking by with a backpack on and he's sagging, what I think is, man, I see that kid's got a belt on. Why can't you just tighten that belt?
Okay, now before you start, I still get a little sag going. I still got a little gangster sag.
You got
a little sag. It's not a big sag, but it's a little sag. Sometimes when I'm at home, you know what I do, and this is a shout out to to my lovely wife. Sometimes I'll sag in the house to show her what she's got in the house.
I'm ready.
Just letting you know, girl. To let her know. To let her know I'm available for her. You know what I mean?
With one thing with age, everything is subtle. Like the subtle thing.
It's a subtle sag.
It's a
subtle sag. To let people know, look,
hey,
I'm not a total old man.
I didn't mean to.
I'm still with these kids.
This just happened.
I can still hang with you.
This just happened randomly.
Like if you all want to throw hands, I'm willing to throw hands in these streets with you. Listen. So you gotta get the little subtle sag
until you get 55.
Till you get to Curt's age. Once I get to Curt's age, my throwing hands down.
Kurt's like, hey,
I'm washed. I'm washed.
Kurt's wearing fucking khakis and cardigans everywhere he goes.
Kurt's putting on the Mr. Rogers outfit.
Khakis, cardigans, and Crocs.
Yes, Curt does wear Crocs. I haven't gotten to the Crocs stage yet. Jesus Christ, Curt, you got on Crocs right now?
Hell yeah.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm starting to feel old because I was tempted to look at some Crocs.
Really?
I was tempted. I was definitely tempted.
I was
tempted. No, look, man. I like. Okay, what I've noticed
They're
is
so easy to put on when you're going
outside. Quick story.
Okay.
When I was about to graduate from high school, I don't know, Curt, you let me know if you all do this. Like when you after prom, you go to Six Flags. Y'all still do that now?
That was the thing.
Curt didn't go to prom. He don't believe it.
I didn't go to prom.
That's the new thing.
Okay,
nothing wrong with that. Different. I didn't go to prom either, but
First of all, it's Christopher Walken around here.
Christopher Walken.
Ain't gonna get no government names.
Christopher Walken? That's what I thought.
I don't think he knows who that is.
You don't know who Christopher Walken is? Who doesn't know who Christopher Walken is?
I'm saying he's too young to know who that is.
Okay, well, anyway.
By the way, Curtis is talking right now. We don't even know what the fuck he's saying.
So, Bathe the Napes was a big thing.
Babes?
Get the back
babes.
when I was in high
Bathe
school.
the Nape is still a big thing.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No, that was when it first came out.
Bathe the Nape jacket can go for about $1,600.
Oh,
really?
jacket.
Okay.
I remember when they were shoes.
So, exactly. So, my brother had a pair of Bathe the Napes. Now, at that time, I was probably like a 12. My brother is a 9.5. Ooh. Now, I wanted to stunt so hard.
Oh, no.
So hard. I put my foot in those Bathe the Napes.
Oh, no.
And I wore them to Six Flags for hours.
That's the worst.
Look, hey man, hey, you got to stunt, man. You got to stunt.
Oh
if you ain't, look, you got to stunt on the haters sometimes. See, man.
Now as an old man, you're going to Six Flags. You got yourself some New Balances
exactly
with the insoles.
Now, let me tell you something, Curt. You know what? Now, let me tell you why I squeeze my foot into those shoes. Because you do a lot of strange stuff to try to get some pussy. And that's what happened.
And you never get it.
No, I didn't get any pussy.
So instead of trying to come with your own outfit, you chose to squeeze your feet in some bathing.
No, I got my own outfit, but those went with the outfit. I planned my outfit around those shoes.
That was the thing back then,
right?
Man.
Curt, you won't understand.
No, we still do the same thing, but still wasn't really that.
He was doing that Soldier Boy.
What type of shoe did you have?
Hey, Curt, let me tell you something.
What type of shoe did you have?
No, I had some good. No, I wore like good shoes. Like I had Jordans. I had.
So what was wrong with the Jordans?
Because Curt,
that wasn't the thing.
Well, you couldn't change the shirt
because the reason is because when you want that pussy bad enough, you'll do some strange things.
The Jordans was doing the same thing. You could put on
no, they weren't. No, my friend.
2006.
Not 2006. Those Jordans.
2006. People were wearing baggy shorts that went down to their ankles and still getting some. You could have at least got some off your Jordans.
Those acid wash jeans you got right now. That was the first time I saw people wearing those acid wash jeans.
So let me tell you this.
2006.
Now, this is the thing. Now, probably Curt, when you were growing up, you all were like baggy. The baggier, the better. When I was growing up, it was baggy, and then once I kind of got in high school, we started wearing, tight jeans. So the style changed.
2007, between
2006, 2007.
Between 07 and 09, everything became nerdy. It was like everything was tight. Everybody had like superhero backpacks.
The Kanye starter pack.
The Kanye
starter pack.
Everybody had that.
With the Bathing Apes.
Soldier Boy.
The Bathing Apes. That's when he made them popular. So
with the tank tops underneath, and then that's when the all white ones got popular because that's where Soldier Boy came out. We came out with the all white
and
ones
the Bathing Apes
and the babes.
Yeah,
I'm saying they've been more popular after Soldier Boy came out. We got
2006 was the prime of this fucking guy's life. All right, I remember everything from 2006.
Right.
All right, now
this
2006 was 8th grade for old Jim here, and it was Chicago Bears. Soldier Boy, fucking Devin Hester.
We're not just gonna skip past Jabos.
Yeah, Jabos were a big thing too.
But 2006 was Devin Hester doing the Soldier Boy while I was in school, going to the dances, everybody getting in line with their fucking Bathing Apes on and their tight jeans doing the fucking Soldier Boy. Right. High school was 2007 when Lollipop comes out. And now all of a sudden Lil Wayne's big. Lick You Like a Lollipop. All that shit. 2008 comes on. 808s and Heartbreak. All of a sudden, like you see fucking people walking around in school right down the street here in Marion Catholic, walking around because we got to carry our backpacks around class to class. So everyone's got like the fucking superhero, like super tight fucking backpacks on, looking all cool and stuff. That's 2008. Now everything's fucking tight and cool.
But you can't forget about the baby fat. You can't forget about the Sean John.
That's baby fat.
Can't forget about the farm.
Well, we're going back now.
You can't forget about that. You can't forget about the Coogee. Can't forget about that.
This obvious shit that he saw on like TV One.
Yeah, this is obvious shit that Kurt saw.
I've seen this around. I've seen this.
On the episode of Unsung.
No, I've seen this at my school. I've seen people wear Coogee and all this stuff. I just never wear it.
Right, but
I never liked it.
But your dad was around when that was a cool thing.
I know.
When you were an asshole, if you didn't have that fucking Fat Farm shit on, or
the first Coogee tag was stitched.
Okay, and the thing is, that's what I'm saying is
when that Juicy Couture, everyone was wearing.
If you had on the right pair of shoes, you could get some good pussy off of some shoes. So if you're wearing a Bathing Apes, you could probably get you a nice pair of pussy off of it. You know, you could get some pussy off of that. A nice pair of pussy. And when I say nice pair of pussy, you know, like if you all know the anatomy, if you know the anatomy of a woman, you know, she has the
I can't hear you.
You know, she has Curt. That's your son. That's your child.
Behind the curtains here. There's 4 people in this room. We got 3 microphones.
You told me it did.
Oh, I don't think so.
You told me it did.
That was a lot more than 10 times.
And you guys are the same complexion.
I literally don't even hear Curtis.
What complexion is this? What?
Now I hear him.
What complexion is this?
Now I hear him.
Get your ass out of here.
What? Curt, you're black as shit. Come on. Now, so like I was saying, yeah, man.
All right, bye, Curt. See ya.
He called the man's Midnight Purple. He called it Midnight Purple.
Yeah, so man, like during that time,
keep walking and giving us the finger.
During that time, that's
Purple.
what I did.
That's
what I did to get pussy. I squeezed my feet into some small shoes because I was trying to impress some women.
Goddamn.
And now as an older man, I'm thinking about Crocs.
Right. You're like, you know what? I got to go outside real quick and get the fucking mail. I'm tired of putting my shoes on, and I'm tired of walking out barefoot.
Right. I think actually yesterday I was looking at some hush puppies again.
Hush puppies?
Yeah, hush puppies.
What's a hush puppy?
Those are shoes.
Man.
Not only are Crocs comfortable, but they're airy.
Airtime. Or
everybody likes to use the word airy.
Walk barefoot, dude.
These are airy.
Breathable.
You can't smell my toes because they're airy.
Are they comfortable, Curt?
You can kiss my grits, but they're comfortable. They're airy. Crocs.
All right, so we're at Curt's house.
We're in his rape dungeon.
Yeah, we're in Curt's rape dungeon.
Wait a minute. Wait. No. We're not going to say that, right? We are not.
Trust me, they'll come and
get you. The rape dungeon is inside the house, not in the garage.
It got
moved.
First of all. So to give everybody a peek behind the curtain, usually we record either,
usually it's at your house.
For all you loyal listeners, you guys will remember recording at Ivan's house.
Who's that?
What?
Who's that?
Right. Portland, Oregon?
I don't know who that is.
Exactly, and we know you're listening, Ivan. What's up, buddy?
I don't know who that is. Who's that?
And so now we've been transitioning to my garage, which is a little bit bigger. That's kind of the party spot. This is the first time we've ever been at Curtis's garage. We walked in and Curt was like, we didn't see him. Like we were like, "Hey, party's here. What's up, Curt?" And no one comes out. We walk into his garage, and it's like cinder block walls. It's kind of a dark, dingy spot. There's one.
It reminds me of? You ever seen like a movie where they tell a guy to meet you somewhere? He gets there and they got just like a plastic sheet just laying on the floor,
like Dexter.
Yeah, you know they're ready to kill you.
There's one light hanging. There's like a string of light that's dangling around.
Yeah, that's it.
There's graffiti on the walls. There's like random blankets like holding like on the wall. And
see, the thing is, when you read the graffiti that says "Do not enter" and you still enter, you looking for something.
So what we've come to the conclusion is Curt has moved all of his hostages and sex slaves from inside here to the cages that he has in his basement. So it's kind of it's a little bit of a different vibe for us.
Sex slaves.
We
hostages.
We're a little bit different.
Maybe hostages.
They're willing.
Sure.
Now we're here. Curt served a nice platter of of some wings.
And to be fair to Curt, outside it looks like a normal like backyard. It's just the
once you get to the garage, that's when you've entered.
Your anxiety gets going. You're like,
that's when you've entered the place of no return.
Am I in Saw right now? Do I gotta saw my own foot off to get out here? Like there's a plate of hors d'oeuvres, like fucking little like deviled eggs.
This is the first immobile stabbing wagon. You know what I mean? When you used to say if the van that's knocking don't come out, if the garage is not moving, you're good.
That's welcome to the stabbing cabin, everybody.
The stabbing cabin.
Now, Curt did a barbecue. Now, luckily for Curt, the barbecue was in his garage. Because if Curt would have chose to have a barbecue in the park, it's a possibility somebody would have caught the cops on him.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Now, I don't know if you have heard, I guess some men were having a nice, they were just having a barbecue, enjoying themselves in the park, a nice day, until some nosy woman decides to come up and call the cops on them, and she says that, no, you all can't barbecue here. Now, obviously they kind of recorded it and everything, and I think it turns out that the lady, she actually had like a PhD, so she wasn't like stupid or anything.
See, it's the problem though. That's the misstep. That's what we need to understand. All these overeducated people have these PhDs and these master's degrees. Just because you're proficient in what you're studying doesn't make you smart.
Hey, Curt, quick question for you, Curt.
That doesn't make you smart.
Real quick, not to cut you off. But, so she caught the cops on him.
Okay.
Now, maybe Curt, she was mad because she saw them barbecuing. Maybe she doesn't have the skills to barbecue, so she was just hating. So Curt, she has a PhD. Curt, was a PhD stand for?
Player had a degree.
Curt. Hey, man, exactly. There you go, Curt. That's
100%.
where everybody likes you.
You did.
That's where everybody likes you, man. Look, you saw how I served that up too?
Hey, because the question is then, why is she on the premises?
It's a public park.
It's a public, exactly. Public.
Actually, I think it happened in Oakland.
Public, meaning can be occupied by multiple persons. You don't need to have a special sign-in, special license, special agreement. It's public. What is she looking for?
Well, Curt, she was trying to be a snitch. She was just nosy.
That's it.
You know how.
That's all she's there.
You know
she doesn't have a life. She doesn't have a life.
Now,
these degrees doesn't mean that she is sufficient and sustained in her life. That's all that she doesn't have a life.
Well, one thing, there's people who, like, there was the video of the dude who just came out, a black guy who was like rehabbing a house that was all boarded up, and the neighbor comes out and is saying, like, calls the cops on the dude for him being there, and that it was racist and stuff. There's people who just have no lives. Like in our jobs, I don't like to talk about our job too much, but we work in customer service. There's people who like to complain about every fucking thing.
Yeah, I figured that.
They're just looking for shit to be angry about.
Oh yeah, because they have nothing else to talk about. They have nothing else to do.
Sorry, I was taking a sip of my wine.
Oh yeah.
But now, if she'd have played her cards right, she probably could have got, like a burger or a dog or something. But she was hating so hard, she wanted to call the cops. Now, a young lady recorded her while she's calling cops. She's asking her, like, what are you calling the cops for? She's like, oh, no, because this is a public park. They're not supposed to have a charcoal grill here. She's bringing up fucking city codes, fucking code 8-6 section A and shit. Just being a bitch. Jim, yeah, being a bitch. Mm-hmm. And she calls the cops. The cops can't do shit because she's making all this shit up.
Right.
Because, know what I've noticed, know what a lot of people do? They give the threat of calling the cops. Because they think, all right, all I got to say is I'm going to call the cops. And they'll scatter. The thing is, people don't really give a fuck about these police out here.
and then when you're not doing anything wrong, what you call the cops? Call the cops, enjoy yourself.
Right.
Call the cops, enjoy yourself. Because that reminds me basically of an episode of What Would You Do? Because that's what it seems. That's exactly what it is. She saw, like you said, two black males enjoying themselves, barbecuing. What did you call the police for other than your racism? You don't want them in your vicinity. You got the option to move. You understand what I'm saying? So you want to call the police for what?
Because, Curt, she's mad because she doesn't know how to season food right.
Apparently, they don't have taste buds anyway. Most Europeans don't have taste buds anyway. While we on the subject of barbecue. Look, man, Curt, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real.
Is this like how African Americans have like that bone in their foot that makes them jump higher?
African Americans have more bones than everybody in the first place. Europeans and European Americans don't have taste buds.
What?
It's a known fact.
Wait a minute, Curt. What the fuck? Wait a minute.
It's a no. That's why she called the police, because she knew she couldn't enjoy the taste.
What science class did you get that from?
Exactly.
It's called it's Biology 101. What
are
you talking about?
Oh, Biology 101. Do you know
I'm taking biology before
Kurt. Do you know who
Curt.
Gordon Ramsay is?
Do you see Gordon Ramsay and what he
prepared? Let me tell you something. I'm going to be honest with you.
Do you think it's flavorful?
Gordon Ramsay's,
do you think it's flavorful?
Gordon Ramsay's seasoning skills are kind of suspect.
Because they don't have taste buds.
Kind of suspect.
It is suspect.
Yeah.
Why are you putting cinnamon on your lamb chops? What is that about? But that's what I'm saying. You don't have taste buds. But anyway, let's go back to the situation.
Well, going back to it, so the cops came out, and, she, of course, first thing she wants to do once she sees the cop, she wants to start crying and shit, talking about, like, these people were harassing me, all this other bullshit.
Yeah, like, every time somebody calls the cops, they got to play the victim.
Exactly.
Many times I didn't see, like, America's Dumbest or, like, people going wild like in the streets. Every time they call the cops, they want to tell them a different story about what's happening. They want to say, oh, they was in my yard or whatever, doing whatever. But they was just across the street. Everybody wants to play the victim once the police come.
Another story of Caucasian people calling the cops. So a police officer was, excuse me, Jim, what do you need? Oh, okay, fine. I'll keep going. Oh, okay, that's fine. So, some policemen were called out. A black officer was there, and I guess somebody locked themselves out the house, or they said, okay. I think somebody got locked out the house. So, a cop is out. It's like night. Black officer, he's shining his light around the house. One of the neighbors called the cops again and said, there's a black guy dressed as a police officer.
Like,
that's the thing. Outside. Like, it's kind of fucked up. We can't even be cops.
No.
Are we going to get the cops? They calling the cops on the cops.
On the cops.
On the cops. And the fucked up thing is, there were other cops out there with them.
Dispatch, that's a false report. We out here with officer such and such.
She should have got a ticket. That bitch should have got a
false. Yeah, that should have been a false police report.
Right, she should have got a ticket. Now, this is something I started last week. Tales from Twitter. Now, Jim, I hit 3 liquor stores before I was able to find, this sangria that everybody's looking for.
Better be the best sangria you've ever had.
It's called Capriccio Sangria.
We finally got it by Curt's house.
Now, on the Twitter this week, all I've been seeing is people talking about the sangria. What's up, Jim? What do you need?
Give me your keys.
Okay, thanks.
My phone died, dude. Oh. I'm waiting for you to stop talking so I can...
Jim, this is what I do. I got to keep it going. I keep it moving.
This is one of those casual podcasts where we're just sitting here talking shit.
Yeah, I keep it going.
My phone died. My charger's inside Greg's fucking truck.
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt him while he's talking.
You could have. You could have.
I also have to have my phone so I can look shit.
And of course, Curt and his weak bladder show back up.
His weak bladder.
Curt and his weak bladder.
And those quarter-sized fucking
bottles
of water.
Right, fucking baby waters. So, right. So basically, all week on Twitter, I've been seeing people talk about this sangria. People saying that if you drink it, you're definitely going to get your girl pregnant. People are saying if you drink it, you're definitely going to get your dick sucked. Everybody is saying it.
Really?
Everybody's been saying it about this, and I had to try it. Now, my old lady, she was like, look, I want to try this sangria. So, hey, if you're telling me, hey, I might get lucky, then I'm going to go find it. So I'm going to search high and low to get it.
So have you got lucky yet, or you just in the...
No, I just got the sangria.
Oh, okay, you just got it.
I just got it. I haven't. It's still in the truck. I got 2 bottles, as a matter of fact.
Oh, okay.
Shoot. Somebody's getting pregnant tonight.
It might not affect you the same, though.
It might not, because I am drinking this wine right here. I just drank a whole bottle of wine.
It might just put you to sleep.
Right. I just drank a whole bottle of sweet red.
Well, I ain't going to say a whole bottle. You might want to say like 75%, because we did have some.
I would say 80%.
I had a few cups.
I'd say 80. Do you have a few?
Possibly a couple.
Maybe a couple. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I drunk maybe 80% of a bottle of wine.
80%.
Okay. Now, when I get home, I'm gonna pop this sangria open. Now, my friend Jim here, we went to the liquor store together, and Jim saw the bottle too. Jim was like, you know what? I'm gonna grab a bottle too. Exactly. Now, if me and Jim come back next week on this podcast and say, well, we're having babies, then you know for a fact this sangria is where it's at.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not trying. I'm not going for it. But from what I'm saying, you know how they say, when you drink Hennessy, it's a possibility, your lady, Jim, I don't think there's a charging port on that.
What are you looking for? A USB charger? What is that?
This is like some behind the scenes shit.
Oh, wow. So, Curt, I got a second bottle in here. I got a second bottle in the truck.
Hey, man, I got a few dollars on me. I'll get it from you.
Oh, okay, Curt. All right, Curt. Or you can just get it across the street, Curt.
No, he's here right now.
It's at your local liquor store.
He's here right now. It's more convenient. It's all about convenience in life. Okay?
I understand that.
Okay.
But, all on the Twitter, that's all I've been hearing about. The two main stories from the Twitter have been the barbecue lady and the sangria.
Okay.
The Laurel or Yanny.
Oh, man. They've been talking about that shit all week.
Now, let me tell you. I don't know about you all, but I heard Laurel.
So, all right. So, this is explained.
I hear Laurel.
So, all you guys are fucking idiots. All right. I hear Laurel, too. So, what's happening is, whoever released it, it's a low-quality clip. So, if you're listening to it on, your iPhone speakers or whatever, it's a low-quality clip. Somebody broke it down, like an actual, audio person. The higher frequencies say Yanny. So basically, human beings, you focus on consonants a lot, and the frequency that the Y and the E make are very similar to the frequency that the L and the L make, like the two consonants and more. Right. So what they did is they merged two different words together and changed the frequencies. Right. So Yanny, if you break it down and you isolate the high frequencies, it's saying Yanny, Yanny. But if you just do the lower frequencies, which was most human beings hear as low frequencies, it's saying Laurel, Laurel. So it basically depends on what device you're listening to.
Right, exactly.
So if you're having a shitty device that doesn't really break things up well, you might hear the Yanny, that type of thing. But if you're listening in higher quality microphone or headsets, you'll hear what it should be is the Laurel. So, but the reason you get confused is because both words are actually there.
So they're tricking you. Jim, is that if you're hearing Yanny, get some fucking money in your pocket.
It's just that
stop being a cheapskate. Upgrade your fucking sound system. And hear what's really coming out.
It's the same way that some people hear dog whistles. You know how older people
I'll take that as a yes,
dude. You go on your on your iPhone, you can go on get the dog
iPhone.
The dog whistle.
Who got the iPhone?
Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You get the fucking dog whistle app. Some people. All right, going back to our fucking with fucking Curt here. Going back to the old school days. When the iPhone first came out, I would sit in class, download the dog whistle app, and turn the dog whistle on while I'm in the middle of class. Some people hear the dog whistle. What the fuck is that noise? Some people don't hear the dog whistle. It's the same thing. Certain people will hear certain frequencies, like older folks. The old teachers all the time would never hear the dog whistle. But the younger people, be like, all right, who's got the dog whistle now? Who's fucking with it? Who's doing it? It's the same thing. It's people hear different frequencies depending.
Exactly.
So that's what it is.
It's all about your diction.
So that's Laurel and Yanny for all you folks who actually give a fuck.
That's it.
Yeah. Upgrade your fucking sound system, cheapskates. Upgrade your fucking system.
Because even with that, when they were doing it on my TV, when they first played, I would hear Yanny, but as it keep playing it would say Laurel.
Oh,
then at the same time, I go into my vehicle, and they playing it. All I hear is Laurel. So it all depends, like you said, the frequency at that time and what you're listening through. Because I would hear Yanny in the very beginning, but if they keep playing it, it turns to Laurel, and it happened on my radio in the vehicle. So it's all about what you're hearing at the time.
If you upgrade your fucking sound system, you won't have that problem.
But all in all, what's the whole purpose though? See,
there is no purpose.
That's the question. What's the purpose of this?
We ain't got shit to do, Curt.
Nothing else to do. You just Curt, wasting everybody's time.
Come on, Curt.
You're not improving anybody's hearing.
Curt, come on. We back here. Doing? We having barbecues in the park, sipping on sangria, exactly. Talking about Laurel and Yanny. Curt, we having a good time. Come on.
It's just something to get us through till we die.
Yeah, come on, Curt. Curt, look. Do I want to be serious all day? Nah, I'm trying to talk about Laurel and Yanny.
Have you ever done mushrooms, Curtis?
Yes.
Whoa! Wow.
First of all,
that
does surprise me. But when I do mushrooms, one thing when you do shrooms and you meditate, and especially if you do mushrooms by yourself, you realize everything means nothing.
You do some
all the shit that we do on a daily basis is just to get us by until we fucking die. For me, having a family, everything I do, me going to work, our daily lives, everything is just an activity to keep us occupied so we don't lose our minds until we die.
So, Jim, can I ask you a quick question, Jim? Since you're talking about we're waiting to die, this is something I know this I wasn't planning on talking about this, but I guess we're just winging it today.
Okay. Go for it.
I'm sipping on a whole fucking bottle of wine. I'm taking
it's already gone
straight to the head. It's like it's like a little swallow left. Yeah. I'm literally taking tiny sips.
I've never seen Greg is not a drinker. He's literally how when people talk they emote with their hands.
Swallow
Greg has a bottle of wine in his hand, so when he's getting expressive, this bottle of wine is flying around.
No, I didn't hear what Curt said.
I just said you are a swallower. You just admitted that.
What are you talking about, Curt? No, Curt, I'm sipping. I'm sipping.
You said you was swallowing.
No, I'm sipping, Curt. Curt, look at this little swallow here.
Yeah, there it is.
Like a little corner here.
So what were you saying about this fucking?
Oh, okay. So the meaning. So what I believe is that, and I don't know. I haven't read this before, but I always thought that if you die, that if you lived your life as a good person, then you go to heaven.
You haven't done mushrooms.
Now, if you're a terrible, shitty person,
man.
You don't go to hell. You get brought back.
That's
live life over again.
And that goes back to what I was just saying. That's something you tell yourself so you're not depressed until you die. That's
what are you talking about? No, because
breaking news, people. None of those places exist.
Heaven and hell don't exist.
This whole religion thing, and it sucks we're going down this fucking rabbit hole right now because this is not going to end. It's going to be awful.
So what happens?
Nothing. That's the thing. That's what we're.
What happens
as a human race? That's what we're so afraid of.
No, it's not a fear. I'm saying it's more of a thing of what happens. It's a thing of you wonder. Okay, what happens when you die?
Right, and that comes from that original thought comes from fear. It's seated in fear, dude.
Is it fear or is it just?
I think it is. Everyone's afraid to die. It's a natural thing to be afraid.
Wants a place to go because if you're a spiritual believer, then you die. You go in the spirit realm. For some people, that's what.
And again, this all is based off of fear. You're afraid right now. If you die, nothing's going to happen. If I die and I didn't live right, I'm going to go to hell.
Never judge a man off of his pants. Curt Jr. That was a really powerful statement there, sir.
Because for me, I do stuff just to say I did it. No, if I do mushrooms and LSD and stuff, I just do it just to say.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
If I do that stuff, I just want the experience. I just want to say that I did it. And it's not considered for me because everybody thinks about what happens after we die. Where do we go? How do we go there? And sometimes some people believe that if you like you say if you're a good person you go to heaven. If you're bad you go to hell.
What does being a good person even accomplish?
Okay, so when I say by good person, I'm saying everybody makes mistakes. I'm saying not going and raping little kids.
No, I'm saying
you're a bad person if you do that.
What would be your definition of a good person? Because you can give money to charity, but still rape the kids.
Then you're a shitty person. You're a shitty person.
Because he helped.
When I say good person, now everybody makes mistakes. It's almost like me saying this. But if I cursed you out, maybe at that moment it was terrible. But if you just live your life as a decent person.
And this all, like I said, what my greater point here is when you have that feeling of emptiness, like you're alone. So my best thing is when I did shrooms, it was like I'm just here. I'm just sitting in my garage. I'm just here right now. What's the point? Everything that we do, at least, and this is the greater thing that I'm trying to expand on, is out of fear of either death or of just something to keep. Why do we have laws? Why do we have? I'm really trying to do a thought experiment.
Basically, Jimmy, is that as human beings we're defined by what we do. you want to say the first question you ask, what did you do for a living? I live for a living.
What's this?
I work to pay the bills that life creates. Don't define me by my job. You understand me? Number one. Because I may donate doesn't mean I'm a good person.
True.
That means I want a tax write-off.
But what defines a good society defines what a good person
Society defines exactly.
There's not some greater power that's deciding what a good person is.
No,
it's what our peers.
What I'm saying is, wouldn't you like if you're out here raping fucking 5-year-olds? You're a pretty shitty person.
Right, by society standards. But
right, exactly.
at the beginning of time,
shit.
What else was there to do?
Oh,
we're trying to figure these things.
What we're asking you,
hey,
Greg,
everybody, don't judge a man based off of his shoes.
He did. Listen,
you did. What we're trying to say, Greg, what we're trying to get you is in the. You got think big, super big macro right now.
Think about how
we're not thinking micro. We're not thinking about like going to church and praying for yourself like that and being.
No, I'm not talking about that.
We're thinking macro. We're thinking like zoomed all the way.
That's why I stated it. I've never read this anywhere. This is just my thinking is that okay, living a day-to-day life is pretty stressful.
How did we get here?
I don't know, Jim. We ain't got shit else to talk about, man.
Rabbit holes.
Jim, we're here now, man.
And by the way, how did we actually get here?
Jim, we're here.
Right?
We're here.
Like, speaking of the macro, how did we all get here? Like, at this very moment? Like, what decisions in our lives have got us to be in the same room together talking about this shit?
Well, we know what it is, Jim.
All the different turns that had to go.
It was that ant that you stepped on. It led you to this point.
How did we get here?
Yeah, see?
All the millions of decisions that have gone through society from this light right here. Do you guys know how to make this light? If this light goes off, you guys know? Well, Curt might.
Yes, I know how to fix it.
But I'm saying like if my phone stops working,
I know how to fix it.
If my phone stops working right now, I don't know how to fix that fucking phone.
I know how to fix it.
There's people who have
go get another one.
Have dedicated their entire lives to shit that I will never think of.
Right.
There are people who have dedicated their lives to things that I use every fucking day. Exactly. That is an essential part of my day.
And they let themselves be defined by that act. That's the problem with humanity. And we allow ourselves to be defined what people think we do.
But no, let me ask this question though, Curt. Wouldn't you say that the people that are creating these things, like this light bulb,
I want my life to be an experience.
Okay.
I don't want to feel like I want my life. I want to be an astronaut. I want to go exploring my whole life. I want to be like, ooh, let me try this new thing. Let me try this new thing. Let me try. I don't want to. It's such a complicated thing. It's really complicated.
Would you like? Because this is why I look at people. Experiment. There's certain groups like. I guess you could say like what you were just saying. Like there's certain people that want to go out, they want to live life, they want to experience different things.
And go ahead. The only way that these people can go off and live the life of comfort, or live the life. I want to go travel Europe. That's what I want. I want to experience Europe. I want to go and do this. People who are livers like that. The only way that you can live is off of people who have built the society. It's such a complicated thing.
That was the next thing I was getting at.
Like for me, I could be a free bird. I could be like, you know what, dude? I'm gonna cash out. I'm gonna sell my house. I'm gonna get $100,000. I'm gonna go and travel the rest of my life. Or I'm gonna, I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna go live in the woods. I'm gonna do this and that. Well, what led me to this was all like society. Otherwise, I don't know how to fucking like hunt. I don't know how to. I don't know how to do any of that.
So when did you say? Okay,
there's people who do that for me.
You want to go out. You want to experience things, and I'm pretty sure there's other people like that. Want to go out. They want to experience different things. But then you have creators.
Right.
There's a certain group of people that their life is creating. Like what we're doing now, we're creating.
There's the people who create the TV show and create the narrative, and there's people who watch it. And we're going back into this whole societal thing. There's the people who tell us, like TV, going back in general.
There's Christ, Curt. I'm sorry, Jim. Wait a minute. Like, the little stagger that Curt does when he has to get up.
He's 65. His prostate's going, dude. It's all good. This is all good. I lost my track. But there's the creators and then there's the consumer. It's just like anything. But to be free, you're really not free. Well, there's no freedom in this fucking thing.
Nobody's free.
It's a mind.
And now I bring this up because Jim, you ever seen the show Preacher?
No.
Well, it's it's based off of a comic book.
No.
You didn't?
God damn it, I don't watch TV.
Jesus Christ, Jim, come on. So, Curt,
everybody's free.
No, are you really?
No, not. I mean, let us explain this. Everybody's free. Like you said, it's just the society around you. We're born at a hospital, and we're just babies. As a baby, we live and do what we want. But as you get older, people tell you what to do and what not to do, and then you have the ability to think for yourself. So, in order for you to be like a free thinker or a free-minded spirit, you tell people like you try to get a following, and then you control those other people too. So, basically, for order you to have a really free idea, you have to be clear-minded.
But if everyone was to live like you and be free, ain't no one driving that bus that you just took to work. Is what I'm getting at. like for me to be a free spirit, someone just drove me here. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like someone just fucking. Like, I want to be a free spirit. I want to be an artist now. Like everybody needs to be like me. We need to live in a hippie commune. We need to live off the land.
Exactly. So wouldn't you say the people that are really free are the people that are just living off of the resources that are put here?
And that's a good way to put it. The people who are really free are the people who are living off the resources.
Because you're not depending on anything.
That the people who are actually working provided.
Exactly. Because the thing is, you're not living off of anything that man has given to you.
God, this is such a complicated thing because it goes into like
Jim,
you go into you turn one left and then all of a sudden like four others.
I know.
Like,
why
the thing
this
is,
podcast is taking a turn?
God damn, man.
The thing that you keep forgetting.
Wait a minute, Curt. How am I forgetting anything?
Even if they are living free, everything they're using is man-made. Even if they make it by their own hands, they are man until they thus man-made it.
Well, that's Curt. They're making it themselves.
But it's man-made
by themselves.
Well, that's what we're getting at.
Man-made.
We're getting at is you can't.
Everybody keep forgetting how
Curt.
Society started.
All right,
man.
Kurt, first and foremost,
man-made is man-made.
First off, Curt, you ain't gonna be here yelling at me with a chicken wing in your hand. All right.
You know what? It's gonna be a chicken wing. It's gonna be a polar sausage. Whatever else I got in my hand, I'm gonna yell at you with, man. I ain't trying to hear nothing you talking about, man. Society keeps forgetting how the world started.
Well, that's the thing, Curt. With society, there's no way to be free like that anymore. There's no way to just. That's like one of the things that you can't choose. That isn't free. Is like you're in society, so I can't just go out and like for me, if I wanted to live out in the woods, there's certain places I can't do that. Like the cops will come and say, "Hey, dude, this is protected. You know, this is private property. This is we don't want squatters here, whatever." Like there's not really anything free. The way there's.
Like
God,
said,
I'm way too hard to do
this.
It's
just the society around you.
But
it's obvious, but it's the thing with society is the structure of it is there to where you can't be free. If you're going to live in the day of 2018, you have to abide by society.
That's okay, exactly. So it's like you're not really free because the thing is that even almost is saying this. As Curt chews chumps down on this chicken.
ASMR. Put this by your mouth. Everybody knows Jim likes to watch videos when he eat.
Now it's like saying, like if Curt doesn't pay his mortgage, they're gonna probably take his house away. Then they're probably gonna try to throw him in fucking jail.
Yep.
I use me as an example. You got your own house,
so you're not free, Curt.
Exactly. So that's my thing. I'm saying. So once you go through the things that
and not even that.
Jesus
Once
Christ,
you pay your mortgage, you're still not free because you're paying property taxes. So you'll never be free.
Right.
And it's like saying, and maybe we're not free, because like you were saying, I want to call you Curt, but I'll just call you CJ.
Christopher Walker.
Wait a minute, is it Christopher Walker or Christopher Walken?
Walker.
Okay.
Walker.
His name's Christopher Walken. Walker. My name's Christopher Walken.
Yeah, Christopher Walken, great actor. Walker. Now, so it's like saying, like, when you grow up and you go to school, first thing everybody tells you is you want to go to school, go to college, get a good job, so you can get a nice big house, so you can get a nice car. Jim is trying to pass the microphone off. I feel like Curt has a chicken wing in his hand.
Trying to talk. Kurt's using chicken wing as a microphone right now.
Right.
I feel like he's got a lot of good shit on this. I'm trying to give him the mic, and he's busy fucking shoving bones down his
right. You can just sit it there, buddy. Yeah. And Like, that's the thing. Society puts you in this place where you think, all right, cool, I gotta go get this house. I gotta go marry this, this badass bitch. I gotta go have all these fucking kids. When really, possibly, you know what you could just go do? You could just go live off the fucking land, pick some berries, cut down a tree, build your little hut with that, and live life like a mountain man. Grow your beard out, jag off a few million times, and call it a day until you die.
Then again, you know what? And one thing that
you turn to dust like on Infinity War.
The great prophet Joe Rogan once said is maybe human beings, our nature is to just keep expanding. So we can't live like off the land. We're like mold, and that's the exact thing that he said. We're like mold on a sandwich. The whole purpose of mold, like if you look at the individual cell, it's an individual cell. But when you zoom out, it's just a fungus. We're just a fungus on the earth, just like a fungus on a sandwich, until we completely consume and create until there's nothing there, and then it's all gone. Just like a fungus, just like mold. That mold feeds off of that sandwich until that sandwich is all fucking gone, and it creates and evolves until it's gone.
Let me ask you a question, Jim. Who's the weirdos? Are the weirdos the people that are living by society standards, or are the weirdos the people who are living off of the land?
Well, that's the thing. The weirdos are the idiots that allow technology to become smarter.
But that's human nature. That might be human nature.
Though. We work to get technology to this point.
Well, I think my
that
greater
doesn't
point,
mean you should be dumb.
No, my greater point is, by nature, human beings are fucking idiots. Like by nature, we consume too much. It is in the human nature to want and want and want until there's nothing more. There's no other animal, or I guess there is, like, animals that'll eat their environment till extinction.
Yeah, there's a lot of animals do it. Just because
it's in their nature.
Don't talk doesn't mean they don't know.
It's in our nature to just create and just evolve until there's nothing. We're always human. It's for human beings. There's always something more. We want more, and that's what brings me back to, because we're conscious. We know where we're at. With my dog doesn't know he's a dog. My dog doesn't know he's gonna die. He just cares about the next time I'm gonna feed him.
That's
with
what
us,
you think. That's what you hope.
Well, you know what I'm getting
animals
at. My overall point
in general.
My overall point.
Humans want to make them sub.
But what I'm getting at, let me finish my point. My overall point is, when I get back to earlier, is we don't want to. We're afraid of dying. We're afraid of what's next. We need something to occupy us. We're always creating. Like what you were saying earlier. I do stuff just to do it, to say I was able to do it. That's human nature, to just keep going to the next thing. If we were always going to be primitive rock people, we would already be primitive rock people right now. But it's not in human nature to stay there. Once human beings achieve one thing, it's in our nature to want the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And I think it's in our nature to keep wanting that until it's all gone.
So it's kind of like saying, there's a woman out here that you can have. You can make love to a woman. But then there's that guy that's like, you know what? I think I want to make a sex robot. And then he goes out, he makes a sex robot, and he charges you, an arm and a leg for the sex robot. And now, next thing you know, you're fucking a sex robot. And the sex robot is your wife.
And that's human nature.
Yeah, and and then it's pretty soon it's going to happen.
And now that sex robot becomes a new thing. Somebody, the next person, after this guy dies, and the sex robot's fucking 10 years in the future, someone else can hey, you know what? I'm gonna make the next thing
a pill.
You know what? This sex robot, I could turn this sex robot into this, and all of a sudden it's another thing, and then another.
Take a pill, you bust.
That's how shit happens, man.
Take a pill, you bust a nut in 30 minutes, guaranteed. So you don't even need the robot, you don't need the woman, you just bust a nuts.
I think the overall point is that human beings are creative.
These are lonely guys.
Well, Curt, you haven't lived life enough, man. Like, that's the thing. Trust me, man. Women are stressful. Women are stressful, buddy. Women are stressful, buddy.
That has a lot of. That doesn't really mean that you take a pill and you.
So let me tell you. Let me ask you this, Curt.
I know that. I know that.
Curtis, you're 17 years old.
Trust me, buddy.
Your dick gets hard in class.
Right.
I know that.
Trust me, buddy.
Okay.
Trust me, buddy. In 10 years.
But he just said you just take a pill, you just bust a nut. Like who wants to do that?
Do you know how many men would buy that?
just to bust a nut just out of nowhere?
Yeah.
First of all, that's the weird.
Once you get like 20.
Trust me, buddy. Give it 10 more years.
Once you hit 23, bro, it's like, dude, I'm thinking everything I can think right now.
You talking about using pills for sex wise, or
no?
Just
I'm saying
just to bust a nut.
I'm saying you take the pill, the nuts bust. That's it,
dude. I guarantee, man.
Somebody's gonna buy that shit.
Your dick might be hard, bro, but dude, once you get to a certain age, it doesn't feel like, dude. I was you 5 years ago, bro. I was you 5 years ago.
Yeah,
once you
40 years ago,
dude.
Jesus Christ.
Once you hit like 23, dude, like all of a sudden, shit's
how
different,
it
bro.
works.
It's like,
oh, no, you have no clue how it works.
I know how
I thought I did too.
hey, you better not know how it works.
I know how it works.
You better not know how it works.
I know how it works. Okay, I know how the sex drive goes down. I know how it works.
And
okay?
that's why they say fuck all you, dude. Get all that fucking out right
30
now.
minutes is a long time. Okay,
Hey, man.
30 minutes is a
long
long.
time.
Hey,
Trust me, man.
it's been
So, you know what? And it's actually funny you say that because I remember when I was 17 and 18 and my dad was trying to give me knowledge. And I was like, you know what, old man? I know how this goes. And then now I'm fucking 30 years old and I'm calling my dad to come over to my house and change the faucet. And now I'm realizing that, you know what? Maybe I didn't know shit back then. And maybe, you know what? Human contact's a little bit overrated.
Have you, but at the same time, have you ever asked, how do you fix a faucet? You never had that in your mind.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So it's like saying this.
Well, now
if you have your father. Your father has this knowledge that he has. And the thing is, he might not give you all of the knowledge until
if I don't ask
until he might not even give it to you until he thinks you're ready for it. Because that's the thing. Because it's like saying this. And when you're a child, your parents aren't going to tell you everything about the world because you're not mentally prepared to have that knowledge. And that's just how life is. So now, could I have changed the faucet myself? Sure. But do I think my father felt good coming and changing the faucet for me? Yeah, 9 times out of 10, he felt great doing it. Great. So that's the thing.
He felt great.
That's one thing. Once you get a certain age, ain't shit else going on.
Right.
You know what?
That's the thing.
I think I'm gonna go get a dent. I'm gonna go to the dentist today, dude. You know what? My teeth been fucked up for a while. No one's inviting me out this weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just gonna go to the dentist.
Nobody's
you
asking you to Chicago cut.
You know what? It's like my dad. Like your dad's been waiting for shit to do. All right. It's like, hey, you know what, Dad? I'm 30. I know what I know you're feeling now. I've been taking you for granted this whole time. Just come on over. Just have something to do. Come on over, dude.
Yeah, because the thing is like when you get your own house, you know what you're going to do? Your dad's going to be like, good job, man. I'm proud of you. Then you know what's going to happen? Your dad's going to come in your house. He's going to start looking in your house and he's going to walk up to you and be like, all right, cool. This what we're going to do. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to change all this shit around here for you.
Because for the past 20 years, that's all he's been doing.
Yeah.
So now your dad's sad. Your dad's like, man, my life ain't got no meaning anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
My whole life used to be about this kid. Now he's, you know what?
But the most important part we have of that story is that he's going to have his own house.
Exactly. And that's the thing.
That's the most
life,
important
what
part.
You do is we come full circle.
Yes.
To the meaning of life is to your parents have you.
It's a circle.
You start off as a little seed. Your parents are carrying it around. They're feeding you. They're wiping your ass and shit. Then you grow up. You hurt yourself. They clean off the little scab or whatever for you. You get older again. Once you get around your teenage years, they get kind of sick of you. They don't want to fuck with you no more. You get sick of them. Then once you get into your 20s, they're like, all right, cool. Let them go out. Let me let him make these mistakes on his own. Exactly. Then you figure out what's really going on in life. Right. And then once you finally got it, you go out, you probably marry a girl, or a man, whatever, not you. But you'll have some kids or adopt some kids.
Don't do that.
I got to be mentally prepared.
I got to be mentally prepared. Nothing's wrong with that. Now, whatever your preference is, you'll go out, you'll have your family, you'll get a home, and you know what's going to happen? Your parents are going to look at you. And what happens when you do that, that lets them know, I've done my job.
Exactly.
I did my job. And then they're going to come to your house and your parents are going to be like, all right, cool. I'm going to rip this whole wall down for you because you need a little more extra space here. And then know what's going to happen. You're going to look at your dad and you're saying now that's not going to happen. But trust me, when you get that first house and your dad says, I'm going to come over here and do it. Know what you're going to say? Nah. You ain't got shit else to do, man. Come over here and knock this shit down for me, man, if you think that's what happened. Yeah. That's how life is, man. And the thing is, and you saying this, and the thing is, and if this podcast is still out, in 10 years, you're going to listen back to this and you're going to be like, nah, that would never happen. And while you're saying that, you're going to be helping your dad tear down that fucking wall in your new house. Because that's just how life is.
As I'm crossing my fingers that he's not one of these useless ass millennials that don't want to do shit in life and want to come back and move in because you want to pay the cable bill. Get your own fucking place.
Now that's another part of life.
Don't pay the cable bill. Don't be a professional speed tester. Get your own place to live. Jesus Christ. How about that?
Curt, now this is the thing, Curt. I just wrapped the podcast up in a nice, perfect bow. Like I was about to sign off and be like, and you know what? I was going to say, and you guys, you know what? This is where we end. We end with me giving CJ some life lessons, and then Curt comes and talks about people paying bills.
You know, I got to do the specials, baby. I got to do both sides. I got to do both sides.
Both sides of what?
You've been a loser,
there you go.
and you've been a
we're going to end it with this. After all of these talks, Curt's son still isn't listening to him. So
exactly.
So with that, everybody, we'll see you next week. Tacos with Friends podcast at gmail.com. Tacos with Friend on Twitter. Tacos with Friends on YouTube. CJ is going to make me an Instagram account for the podcast right now. And, well, shoot, man, you shouldn't have said shit if you don't want to do it.
Right.
Yeah, too bad.
Hey, don't say it if you ain't saying it. Don't say it if you ain't saying it.
Don't open your mouth if you don't plan on doing it for me. All right.
Wassalamu alaikum.
All right, drink your water.
And
quick thing. Flint, Michigan still doesn't have clean water. So, everybody, send water to Flint, Michigan.